Andriy started his new life in a small American town where everything seemed calm and orderly. He was struck by how friendly and helpful people were. Strangers he met on the streets always smiled to greet him, and the Clark's neighbors came to their house with gifts or useful advice on how to adapt better in a new country. The locals were surprisingly open-minded. When Sarah introduced Andriy to her friends, they immediately began to take an interest in his story and offered to help. One offered an old bicycle to get around town. Another invited him to a joint lunch at the local church. These were simple but sincere gestures that showed how much they wanted to make him a part of their community. Andriy was surprised at how easily Americans come together to support each other. Families gathered in the local park every weekend to discuss how they could help the new residents of the town. They organized charity events to raise money for various needs, and even found a way to raise money to help Ukraine after hearing about its history. In addition to their kindness, Andriy was also impressed by their self-confidence and optimism. People not only supported him, but also shared their positive outlook on life, which inspired him. Even simple conversations about how they believed in the power of community made Andriy think that he could find his place here. Every day, he discovered new aspects of this culture: willingness to help, sincerity, lack of prejudice. People were not interested in where he was from to judge him, but to understand how to make his life better. This was a real discovery for Andriy, which strengthened his faith in humanity and inspired him to continue adapting to his new life. Andriy gradually got used to his new life, but every day brought new challenges that made him constantly overcome himself. The most difficult test for him was the language. English lessons with Sarah helped, but it was not enough to communicate confidently. Andriy often noticed how people would slow down their speech or repeat what they were saying to help him, but he still felt uncomfortable. Every trip to the store was like a small marathon. Products packed in brightly colored boxes with labels he didn't understand only added to his confusion. He was used to the markets and bazaars in Ukraine, where he could talk to the seller, get advice, and try the products. In Oregon supermarkets, everything seemed automated and alien. One day he tried to pay at a self-service checkout, but made a mistake that caused the machine to stop beeping. The store employee came over with a smile, explained what to do, and even showed him how to work with the terminal. Public transportation was not easy either. Andriy didn't know how to use buses properly, where to find the schedule, how to pay the fare, or whether to press the button to stop. He often got confused, but bus drivers and passengers were always ready to help. One of the drivers even printed out a map of the routes to help him navigate. Cultural differences added to the difficulties. Andriy was used to more reserved communication in Ukraine, where people did not always share their feelings with strangers. Here in Oregon, Americans were completely different. They spoke openly about their emotions and did not hesitate to talk about personal moments, even if they had known the person for only a few minutes. At first, this caused him surprise and even some tension, but he began to realize that such frankness was a sign of trust and a desire to help. The Clark family's neighbors also did a lot to help him adapt. Everyone who heard Andriy's story tried to support him in their own way. Someone brought him clothes, someone invited him to lunch, and one man even gave him an old bicycle so that Andriy could move freely around the city. He did not expect this level of support from people he hardly knew. Gradually, Andriy began to notice that these small gestures of kindness not only helped him adjust, but also changed his perception. He began to see America not as a foreign country, but as a place where people really value community and are ready to help anyone in need. One day, Andriy was invited to a local church where they were organizing a dinner for refugees. There he met people from different countries who had also gone through hard times. They shared their stories, and each of them was filled with pain, but also hope. It gave him the feeling that he was not alone in his struggle for a new life. Sometimes Andriy felt tired of the constant need to learn and adapt. But every success, even the smallest, was a great achievement for him. The first time he paid at a supermarket checkout by himself, it was a real triumph for him. When he was able to find the right bus and get to his destination, he felt that he was doing well. All this gradually strengthened his faith in himself. He saw how many people were willing to help, and it inspired him to keep going. Andriy realized that the path of adaptation was long, but thanks to the kindness and support of those around him, he would be able to find his place in this new country. Andrew gradually began to find meaning in his new life in Oregon. Tom, the head of the Clark family, invited him to join him at his carpentry shop. At first, it was a simple job, cleaning the place, sorting materials, and helping with basic tasks. But Andriy immediately remembered his childhood, when his grandfather taught him how to carve figures out of wood. His hands quickly remembered the movements, and he found in this occupation not only a way to earn money, but also inner peace. Working with would turn out to be a kind of therapy for Andriy. In the silence of the workshop, he forgot about the difficulties he had experienced and could focus on something positive. Tom noticed this talent and decided to teach him more complex techniques. Later, Andriy started working on small orders, making simple furniture or decorative items. The support of the local community became a driving force for his development. Sarah helped organize the sale of his first works at the local market, where the townspeople could see what the new member of their community was creating. People were impressed with the quality and uniqueness of his work, and some even started ordering pieces for their homes. In addition to his work, Andriy began to discover other aspects of American culture. Emily invited him to the school fair, where traditional American crafts and food were presented. There, he saw how much people appreciate work and art, and it inspired him to develop his skills even more. Each success gave him more confidence. Andriy gradually felt that he was finding his place in this community. He was no longer afraid to express his ideas, reach out to people, and share his experiences. Until recently, he had been a stranger in this country, but now he was being recognized as part of local life. Andriy realized that his journey was just beginning. He dreamed of having his own workshop where he could create things that would bring people joy. Working with wood has become not only a way to earn money, but also an opportunity for him to express himself, build a new life, and leave his mark on this small but welcoming town. Every new day was a step forward for Andriy. Working at Tom's farm, Tom's workshop turned into a real school of life. It taught him not only carpentry techniques, but also how to work in a team, find solutions to complex problems, and appreciate quality in every detail. Andriy felt that slowly but surely he was finding his place in this small town. People who were just friendly faces to him at first were now becoming friends. The other expats he met during church lunches became his circle of support. They exchanged experiences, shared advice, and helped each other cope with the difficulties of adaptation. In these meetings, Andriy found the understanding that he lacked at first. Sarah, who had always believed in him, suggested that Andriy apply to participate in a local craft festival. It was a big event where craftsmen from all over the state showed their work. He was hesitant at first, but the encouragement from the Clarks and his friends gave him the confidence he needed. Preparing for the festival was an important milestone for Andriy. He created a series of products that were meant to reflect not only his skills but also his life story. Each of these pieces contained the spirit of his native Ukraine, memories of his childhood, and hope for the future. At the festival, his works attracted the attention of many visitors. People were interested in how he created his products, admired their uniqueness, and bought them for their homes. One of the local businessmen offered him cooperation, noticing his talent and potential. At that moment, Andriy felt that his efforts were beginning to bear fruit. He was no longer that lost boy who came to the United States looking for salvation. He became a man who not only adapted to his new environment, but also began to make his mark on it. The Clarks were proud of Andriy. They saw him become stronger, more confident, and closer to his dream every day. The community of the town began to see him not only as a guest, but as one of them. Andriy now dreamed even bigger. He wanted to create his own workshop where he could not only work, but also teach others. His story has become a source of inspiration for many who have seen how something new and beautiful can be built out of hardship and loss. After the festival, Andriy's life took on a new dimension. His works became popular not only among the town's residents, but also in neighboring communities. Orders were coming in more and more often, and he realized that it was time to realize his long-held dream of setting up his own workshop. Tom, who had always been there for him, helped him find a place to set up shop. It was an old garage near the center of town. Andriy, along with the Clarks and his new friends, worked for several weeks to turn it into a space where he could create. Everyone helped selflessly. Someone painted the walls, someone brought tools, and someone even donated an old machine. The opening of the workshop was an important moment for Andriy. He not only opened a new page in his life, but also created a place that brought people together. Making wooden products became not only his business, but also a way to share his story. Each thing he created was filled with meaning and reflected his journey, from fleeing his native Ukraine to becoming a newcomer to a new country. The community supported him in everything. People not only bought his works, but also recommended them to their friends. Soon Andriy's workshop became known far beyond the town. He started receiving orders online, and his story attracted the attention of the local press. One evening, the Clarks gathered with Andriy for a family dinner. Sarah recalled the first time they met him, tired and confused, and how he had changed since then. Emily emphasized that his perseverance and belief in the best had set an example for them all. Tom simply shook his hand, silently expressing his respect. This dinner became a symbol of the end of one stage and the beginning of another. Andriy now looked to the future with optimism and confidence. He dreamed of expanding his workshop, working with other immigrants, helping them adapt and find their place. A new life, which once seemed like a pipe dream, became a reality for him. Andriy realized that the true strength of a person lies not only in the ability to survive difficulties, but also in keeping faith in oneself and humanity in one's heart.